All right. So, a little bit of a recap so we can get started here. Last session that you guys were involved in, you guys had entered through the Planetum greenhouse, through the back entry, concerned that there was kind of a battle happening. It looked like at the front side near the market of the Planetum. As you entered, you made your way through the Grand Hall into the dormitories with obviously your knowledge of the place, Max, which resulted in you guys finding a lot of dead bodies, classmates of yourself, Max, that you recognized, running into Faradina Canestep, one of the classmates of yours, Max, who makes wands. I believe Flickerwisp met her once. And in doing so, you guys kind of split from her and then re-saw her again a little bit later in a way that was odd to some of you, in that she sort of returned at a point where you wouldn't expect to have seen her again. She went one way and then all of a sudden she was in front of you. Being suspicious of that, you cast Detect Magic, Max, and noticed as she was running away that she had transmutation magic on her. Just at the far end reach of your spell, you noticed that, but as you were sort of getting that secondary information from your spell, she went through a doorway. Medolfir ran up behind her, not knowing how the doorway works. I guess he began smashing it, even though it was not locked. And once you got up there, you opened it up. You noticed there was something odd about the doorway, but you all did jump through to follow her, resulting in where you are now. As you guys gather yourself, you find yourself, back in the Planetum greenhouse where you had originally entered. You look around. You do not see Medolfir or Me-Man with you, or Vard. You do see Lanre, Max, and Lanre, you see Max as well. There's something different as you look around in this greenhouse. Max, you immediately spot it. You've been in this greenhouse several times, having studied alchemy at different points. Lanre, even with your minimal amount of experience here in the Planetum, you also recognize a little bit of a difference from the last time you were here. There are stone statues now. They're splayed around this kind of, the greenhouse is a very large space, but, as you look over to the right, you see a stone statue where one wasn't before. Look left, there's a stone statue where there wasn't one before. And where you found the large door that used to go into the college from this kind of back area, this annex of the Planetum, you now find a large gnarled tree, just almost like imagine a banyan, just tons of thick, viney growth forming at the base of the trunk. You look at it and you notice there are low-hanging dark fruits dangling, as well as mosses, thick like Spanish moss, dark green colored, hanging from this tree where the doorway used to be going into the Planetum. There is still the back door that goes out into the gardens through the glassway to the south, or sorry, to the west. But the main door into the college is covered by this new tree. There is also a smell of candle wax. Finally, Lanre, in your focus, just looking around the room, you get the sense that the room has been also unsettled since you were here last. With that, what are you guys doing?
Are we supposed to be on the map right now, or
Let me see.
this is just theater of the mind?
Yeah, this is theater of the mind right now.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm just pulling you into the campaign landing page for now.
Okay. Yeah. Can I see if these statues are part of some, if they're part of the effects of a magical effect, since they're new? Like, why are they here, basically, is what I'm wondering.
Sure. How would you like to do that?
Just want to, kind of study the feng shui of it, you know?
Okay, okay.
Like, is this positional and, what they are and all that sort of stuff, is that a spell component or something like that? Like, is it... because it's different, I'm thinking, was this used as a teleportation gateway of some sort? Or something like that, you know?
Yeah. And bear with me, Mike.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
There may be little 1 or 2 minute pauses while I confirm some things, but go ahead, Matt. Lanre.
I was just gonna say, and as Max is describing that, I'm looking at him and I'm like, I kind of want to go up to the statues, but I kind of look at Max. I'm like, is it okay to go up and look at the statues, or should I wait?
Max.
As he's asking me that, I kind of am thinking through and trying to figure out, kind of indicating, hold on a second.
Yeah.
Lanre, are you doing anything while Max is approaching the statues other than that in your as you're holding your place?
I'm just gonna kind of survey the room, I guess, and look for either signs of the signs of life. I'm expecting there might be bugs or something, but just any sort of movements, just to be sure I'm keeping an eye on that kind of stuff to know what's going on around us.
Give me a survival check. And Max, why don't you give me a knowledge arcana check? Okay. As Max slowly walks towards the statue nearest to him, Lanre, you notice something. With each of his steps, Max is leaving a footstep on the ground. Something you didn't notice when you guys first came in here. There is a thick coating of yellow and green pollen on the ground. Like a crazy amount of pollen in this room that has settled onto the floors. So his tracks are very visible as he walks. And with that, you start looking around and see other tracks. Ahead of where Max is standing, past the statue, you clearly see in the sunlight that kind of glimmers through the windows, footsteps and tracks in the pollen that approach and then disappear at the edge of the gnarly tree. The footsteps strike you as being odd. There's a strange gait to them. The right foot is showing kind of a longer drag than the left. It's like a left, and then the right foot is kind of dragged a little bit. And there's also a staff or a cane, some sort of a marking every single time that's also slightly dragged to the right of each of the steps.
I just say to Max, it seems like somebody's been here before us, and I point down at the footsteps and everything. And so when they kind of disappear at the tree, is it around where I would have expected or remember the door being? Or
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the tree is quite large, but somewhere buried in there, yes, you would expect that's where the tree would have been. Or sorry, the door would have been.
Yeah, and we both Max and I know that, I guess, generally. And I mean, I'll just say that the footsteps lead obviously to that door, or where we would think the door is behind the tree.
Yes.
Hmm. And
Did
I'm
you
gonna
just see
probably.
this?
Oh
Did you
yeah.
guys just see this image?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that's what you're looking at when you see the tree. It's like this massive, and there is kind of a hollow to it, but that's what you see.
And I'm just gonna take an arrow out and like push the pollen around just to kind of mess with it a little bit, see what's going on. But
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
more just out of the curiosity.
Sure, you do so. It's thick enough that it covers like the top half inch of the arrowhead. Like it's a mixture of pollen and kind of really small flower petals. And you look around and you see that everything in this room has bloomed all of a sudden. It wasn't as in bloom. It's just, yeah, it's very thick. It's a good thing you don't have allergies to this. Max, I don't know if you have allergies or not, but Lanre certainly doesn't. Max, as you approach the statue, you notice the footsteps that Lanre points out. But beyond that, you also notice on the statue closest to you, tucked kind of into a palm, you see an unlit candle. And you also see it almost looks like a what would this be? It almost looks like a naval tool, like a fishing tool that assists with like setting hooks and things, like a little sharp, almost like shiv shaped. But it's clearly made out of some sort of chitin or maybe a bone of some sort. And that's in the other hand of the statue.
But it's not made of the statue material.
No, the candle and the little chitin shiv looking thing are both not made out of the stone that the statue is made out of.
Okay. Does that mean anything to me as far as Arcana goes?
With that knowledge Arcana check, I gotta check your spell list real quick.
Knowledge Arcana is not limited to.
Yeah, no, I know.
Just things that are in my spell book. I mean,
yeah. I would say, given your minoring in necromancy, even though you're not aware of how to do summonings, you do know the practice, and you do get the sense that these are the elements that would be necessary for a summon undead spell. What are you guys doing?
Looks like we found the green room. Kind of laughs at the little joke he made.
Lanre makes a chuckle.
All right, but I don't get the sense that these statues are like creatures. Standing fairly close to them at this point.
Yeah, I mean, unless they're like some sort of stone construct. As you're standing next to it, they don't move an inch. You don't see any movement in them.
All right. So the only door was the one we came through, or is that not even visible here?
There were two doors. You are sure of that in the greenhouse. In fact, let me just pull you into the screen.
Yeah, I know one of them is covered by the tree, but what about the other? I didn't catch the other one as well.
Yes, you should be able to see
back here.
Yes, that door still exists. That would normally go out to the sort of botanical gardens behind the planum from your past knowledge. But given the amount of pollen that's on the windows and everywhere in this room, you don't actually see through the windows to be able to tell what's outside of that door.
What would have been out of this door at the south normally?
Yeah, it would lead out into the city, but into the sort of botanical gardens portion on the backside of the Platinum.
Okay.
So technically, north is to your left right now.
Okay. Is this the statue you were talking about that was holding stuff?
Yes, exactly.
And it's a statue of a person, it looks like, right?
It is, and not an arcane person. I mean, most of the statues that you're very well familiar of within the Platinum are of great mages and sorcerers and wizards from history. This almost looks like a warrior or maybe some sort of fighter, barbarian. They're wearing like partial armor. It's very strange. And some of the statues aren't even standing. Some are like kneeling, some are laying.
Yeah. Are these the effects of like a petrification spell or something like that?
You having been petrified. Now, did you ever see someone else petrified before you became petrified? I'm trying to think. Did Flicker Wisp got petrified before you?
Yeah.
Okay, so with that, your spellcraft check is really crazy high. Let me just double check that.
It's only a 15 on the die.
Yeah, that's insane. What a bonus.
Yeah, Max is a single track. Like, he's very much like a PhD. He's terrible at everything else in life except for this one thing.
He can do his research though.
Yep.
Yeah, and Lanre, as you're very tense and like staring around in this room, you look over and Max is like gently touching the statue that wasn't there before.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, Max, is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Max. Let me triple check one thing. Hold on, sorry. I want to make sure this is right.
While I'm thinking that over, I asked Lanre, does it look like all these statues are looking towards the same place?
Yeah, I mean, I can see like at least 3 or 4 of them right now. It almost looks like they're all looking ahead of themselves. Like something strange happened here, I feel like.
I was trying to prompt you to open up for a skill check to like verify it, but
Right.
Because I'm terrible at the things that would be involved with determining if they're all like,
Lanre, if you want to try a sort of physical check, just let me know what you want to do.
I guess it would probably be like a spot check, maybe.
Sure, you can do a spot. You know who'd be really good at this would be Mayman, who's really good at tactical understanding.
Yeah.
Lanre, for sure, as you look around the room, even though the room is very cloudy with pollen at times, you do see that all the different sort of statues are all looking towards the tree, for sure. And you're trying to count them up in your head. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like a dozen plus statues in here. Max, with your spellcraft check, you don't believe these are petrified beings. Typically with petrified beings, you would notice the streaking of lime weeping from the stone, which is a telltale sign of the petrification of that spell. There'd be like almost like when you see calcified staining on stone faces, there would be that telltale sign from the eyes and anywhere there was moisture in a body before. You do not get that sense with these.
Okay, and these are, but I mean, like, it's not flesh to stone. It's not.
Nope.
Okay.
GM, am I free to walk around a little bit?
Yeah, sure. Position yourselves wherever you want to be in the room.
I kind of want to go. What I'm gonna do is go over to like. Is go over to this table up here.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
I don't know why my thing is.
You should be able to move. Yeah, feel free to just free drag right now. There's nothing stopping you. This room is very quiet. It'd be a very serene space if it weren't so awkwardly different than what you guys recently saw.
I'm gonna just like use my arrow again to poke stuff on the table. Like I'm very cautious about touching anything with my hands, just seeing what has happened.
Give me a search check, even with your arrowhead, but noted that you're not using your hands. Max, what are you positioning for?
I'm not really sure. I'm kind of at a loss right now. Like Max is at a loss. He's sort of like looking around at all these statues and figuring out, like, he's very sure that this wasn't, like, these weren't. So he's sure that these statues were not people.
They don't look like any of your classmates, anybody you've ever seen in this planet.
No, but I mean, like, they don't look like they were just people.
No.
Okay.
Max, but you do notice one thing as you go to another statue. Each of the statues is carrying a small candle, unlit, and a little piece of chitin. Each one is like a different kind of tool of chitin or bone. It's hard for you to tell, out of context, since it looks like it's been carved, like hand carved into these different things. One person is carrying like this tiny little flute. Another person has almost like a sewing needle made out of bone, but all of them are about like, let's say, finger sized, if it were a bone.
Is it, so Max is starting to think, is this some sort of like ritual that was done by multiple people? Like, he's still not fully convinced that these weren't people, because like they look really good detail, right?
Yeah. I mean, these look like Renaissance quality statues, not, let's say, Etruscan. The quality of the statue is quite good.
And like, he's just like thinking like it would be very difficult to drag all these statues in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still sort of like hasn't given up on the idea that these were creatures at some point.
Yeah. You've definitely heard of covens of cults that are able to pool their capabilities into creating greater magics. It's not
attempt
common.
a religion check.
Sure.
That's cool.
Man, of all the things that you are smart of, religion is probably the least, even though you've taken a renewed interest in it since Finry's death. The one thing that you do recognize from your past, with that check,
sorry,
there is. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question. So before we walked through the door, I had cast magic, detect magic.
You had detect magic going,
and I would have had it for like 8 minutes.
Yes. Let's see.
9 minutes. I would have had it for.
Now you spent about 1 or 2 minutes deciding to jump through the door, but I will say that you could still be carrying it. Yeah.
I mean, if you
wish
want,
to
I can do a
just
concentration check to make sure that I don't lose
no,
it.
your concentration's high enough that you probably won't lose it.
Right.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Thank you for bringing it up. So are you just kind of scanning the room?
Yeah, I'm gonna do the little radar thing and just sort of I'll spin around once to see where the auras are, and then I'll focus in on the auras to see what the secondary round and the tertiary round if needed.
Got it. Lanre, in your search, you notice this is like a little bit of like an alchemy working table. You've noticed Max, I think a couple times Max has attempted some alchemy, if I remember correctly. You do notice, the same kind of tools that are used in the making of potions, which makes sense. This greenhouse generally was serving the alchemy segment of the planetum. Nothing seems out of place. There's nothing unusual on this table. Max, before doing the scan around, I mean, just from a general, your knowledge of religion, you're not very knowledgeable about various religions, but one thing you do recall is in the cultist lair, the statue that was there had carved into it a symbol of Vecna, the hand with the eye, I believe. You notice that on the statue
I'm sorry. What's this cultist layer you're talking about?
It's a symbol that you found when you
No.
down.
You say like I remember cultist layer. I don't. Omid doesn't remember those.
The aqueduct down below your house, back a long time ago.
So down the well.
Yes.
Previously. Okay. I got you. All right. Sorry.
So, yeah, the symbol known as the Hand of Vecna, which you saw before, is slightly hidden on these statues, but visible when you start getting closer to them. This one that you're standing next to has it over its left shoulder. You begin scanning the room again, sort of refocusing. You do get. Let me just get the order of it up. So, in the first round of scanning around, you do get the presence of magical auras. As you continue to focus, you do see multiple magical auras. The most powerful of which is a moderate aura coming from the tree. You also pick up 12 or so other auras focused around the statues as you scan around. Let me see how far. Are you walking around the room and doing this, or just from your vantage point right now?
Well, from here, I should be able to hit, like...
this upper half of the room, basically. Yeah.
That whole area by spinning around. And I mean, I'll eventually... I can... Once I realize what's going on, I can... I think I can hit most of the place by just going around this circle in the middle.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Yep, you could definitely do that.
Okay.
So yeah, moderate auras, and then on the tree, are you focusing on that to determine?
I think I'll do the tree. I'll do the tree first, and then I'll focus on some of these. I'll try to like for example, where I'm standing, right, looking in this direction, right.
Mm-hmm.
The cone would be like that, right? Like I could hit from here to like here, right?
Yeah.
90-degree cone. So like I could get the tree and a bunch of these statues at once.
Okay.
And then start looking around the rest of the place to see what else like the
straggler. So you'll still have to make a skill check or a spellcraft check against each one.
For each one, yeah. But the second round, will tell me that they're the moderate, and then the statues just have faint.
The statues themselves have faint, yes.
And from my earlier spellcraft check, do I know if there's if any of this stuff is a functioning spell, or is it the lingering aura of a spell that has finished? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hold on. No, is that it? No, that's third round stuff.
Yeah.
Is it third round stuff?
You don't really know whether what you're seeing is ongoing or not, from what I'm reading.
Well, a straight up no. So not as part of the tech magic, but like just a spellcraft check.
Yeah, I'll allow that on. I'll tell you that when you do your spellcraft check in the third round for each object. So, like, you're focusing on an aura. On the third round, you're allowed to make a spellcraft check to see the school of magic, but I'll also say whether or not you believe that to be a lingering or an ongoing effect. So go ahead and give me a spellcraft check, I assume, against the tree to start.
And as Max is doing this, I'm also just
So
kind of
just forget about detect magic. Just a straight up
Yeah.
spellcraft check. Like a 30 or higher, I understand a strange or unique magical effect, such as the effects of a magical stream, blah, 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 blah. At lower spell or DCs, there's like identify a spell that's already in place and an effect. You must be able to see or detect the effects of the spell. So, I mean, like, I can see the statues in the tree.
Yeah, most likely you're going to see all of that when you do your spellcraft check.
Okay, so even though... Let me find the button. Sorry, Lanre, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. I mean, I was just, seeing that Max is working through this stuff. I'm gonna, one, try to stay somewhat out of the way, but then two, I'm also just gonna kind of like keep searching around, and I'm gonna look in these sort of central plant, what I see as plant holders, like with all these big different things going on, and just see if I can find anything that's interesting or.
Okay.
Generally just kind of, again, keep my eye out for stuff that looks unusual.
Yeah, as you kind of look through that central plant, there's a ton of big flowers like in that zone. As you kind of run your arrow tip, I assume, not touching anything, your arrow tip against it.
Yep.
Little like puffs of pollen puff out, almost like when the wind blows at certain times of the year, and you can actually see like little clouds of pollen coming off. That's the thickness of what comes off of these flowers, and immediately kind of settles out on the ground. But nothing unusual other than that. I mean, other than this very active botanical experience in here.
Yeah.
Max, with that spellcraft check. Okay. You're picking up conjuration magic from the tree. It is ongoing. What else from the tree are you trying to discern?
Okay, so with a spellcraft check, as part of the detect magic, I get aura and
aura and school for sure.
And school, right? Well, I meant the school and the strength, right?
Yep.
Okay. So I guess in theory I got the strength too early, but whatever. But just a straight up spellcraft check. For a DC of 20 plus the spell level, I can either identify a spell that's already in place and in effect, or I can identify materials created or shaped by magic, such as noting that the iron ball is the result of a wall of iron spell. So like I'm supposed to be able to track back and be like, I know the spell that did this, right? So I don't know if you want me to roll again, but
no.
I can.
That's good. Keep in mind, when there are powerful auras, just something to keep in mind, when there are powerful auras, sometimes they can cover up lesser auras too. What you're seeing here in terms of the spell effect in place, somehow this tree is connected to a summoning spell of undead. Somehow the statues that are holding the candles are connected to this. The aura is kind of like an overlapping of this spell that you know to be summon undead of a high level, a pretty high level summon undead. There are other auras that you get just faint glimpses of in this room that are beyond just conjuration. For instance, for a moment, you thought there was necrotic magic at play as you walk around the room. I assume you're not just staying where you are. You're walking around, not just focused on the tree, yes? Just so that we don't have to go round by round for your movements.
Yeah, I'm scanning around. So
okay.
So within a cone, I pick up presence of magical auras, right?
Yes. Yep.
Not just like, oh, there are some or there aren't, but like I can kind of see them.
Yeah,
right?
you can see where they are. Yep.
Then
Definitely
I
the
can.
statues.
Yeah, so I can pick up. Second round is the number of magical auras, and power of the most potent power. Potent aura.
Which is what you got on the tree.
Yeah. So on the tree itself, there's multiple auras, but I only know the most potent power level.
Yes.
Not that I don't see the other auras, but I don't know their aura power.
For sure.
I only know the power of the most powerful one, but I'm still able to detect the schools of the other auras.
Yes.
I just won't know unless I angle myself so that like if the auras are like not on the exact same spot, if I angle the cone so that it's like only to filter out to geographically filter out the stronger aura so I can pull stuff from the lower auras, right?
Yes. Now just keep in mind, per raw, if there are multiple overlapping types of magic, even though you're focusing on certain things, the overriding magical auras in certain areas, if there are area effects happening, can distort or conceal weaker auras. You know that for a fact. And as you look around this room, you do get the sense that there's a lot happening here, but the things that are most evident are the moderate aura coming off this tree. And then you are picking up other auras on the statues, but there could be other ones that are kind of being distorted by this larger, more powerful.
Okay, so the distortion should fade away at some mathematical equation in Max's head. That's spells and even magical effects have ranges and stuff. So
yeah,
he's like, okay, so like I don't know, the further he gets away, do any of these statues become readable?
So as you walk away, and I'll put you back here. Yes, that overriding moderate aura that you were picking up at the tree, just as you go right here to like past the midway point of the central area towards another statue.
So 60 feet away from the tree.
Yeah, it starts to fade a little bit. And then you start picking up another aura coming from the back door. But before you do, there is kind of this gap that happens, and you do sense the aura on the statues themselves, conjuration, but of a faint nature. And as I assume you're going to do a spellcraft check, so go ahead and give me a spellcraft check on the statue.
Sure. I mean, it's at least going to be a 25.
Okay.
So 9th level or lower?
Yes. There is still conjuration magic on the statues, but one thing you also notice is you also pick up another moderate aura on the. Sorry, you pick up a faint aura. Triple check. Yes, faint aura of illusion on the statues as well. But
okay, was that spellcraft check for the detect magic or just a straight up spellcraft check?
That was. You can use it for both.
Okay, as a straight up spellcraft check.
Yep.
DC 20 plus a spell level, I can identify if this is the effect of a spell, and I know what spell it is.
Correct. And you are picking up that this is.
As long as it's 9th level or lower. If it's like an epic for that skill check, I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to look at another statue and see if I can tell there. But
right. Hold 1 second. Okay. This is, yeah, you get the sense that these statues are under some sort of a minor image spell also.
Minor image. I attempt to stick my hand through the surface of the statue.
You do so. And as you do, for the first time now, really grabbing onto these, and with the knowledge of knowing that there's some sort of image magic happening here, you do get a weird sort of sensation. Your finger actually passes just slightly past the edge of the statue itself. And
Can I attempt to disbelieve it through a will? I don't know. Most of these types of spells have a save, right?
Yes.
Like
You
through
may
interaction.
attempt a will save. Do you call out anything to Lanre at the same time?
I say, Lanre, there's some sort of illusion on these statues. Maybe. I'm not sure, actually. But try to, I don't know, interact with the statues. See what happens.
Okay, give me will saves.
Where's saves? I'm trying to find saves. Oh my God.
Lanre, what are you doing as he says that?
Well, I'm looking at the statue in front of me, so I guess as a first step, I'm going to again take my arrow and just kind of see if I can poke the statue essentially with it.
Okay. I want you to go ahead and give me a will save as well, Lanre. Just knowing that he's like, you have to disbelieve what you're seeing.
Man, 10 is my number today.
Let me check the DC of this.
Now, each of these statues was giving off its own aura, so in theory, Lanre could just walk around and touch each one and see which one he disbelieves. I mean, it's not. Yeah. I don't know. Or he'll just think I'm crazy.
Hold on, sorry. I'm just checking the spell DC. Like I said, it might take me a second here. Why am I struggling to find this?
It's going to be...
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out which ability it would be associated
on the character that did this.
Yeah. Right, along with the spell level.
So if it's a wizard, it would be an int. If it's a sorcerer, charisma. If it's like a cleric, it would be
here. I found it now.
Wisdom. Druid would be wisdom.
Yep. Okay, so
what are the classes?
Plus that. Plus spell level of 2. Okay. Lanre, as you sort of reach out with your arrow, still not touching.
And it doesn't go with caster level.
No, it's spell level.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you reach out, testing the statues with your arrow, you think Max is kind of maybe losing it a little bit? Maybe there's some other magics happening here, or maybe he's focused too much on his concentration for this detect magic. They're stone statues, from what you can tell. Max, with your will save, you just start to see through this veil. Just barely, actually, interestingly enough. But you do see through it, regardless. As you disbelieve the statue that you're looking at here, starts to form into a sculpture made out of bones. It is not a statue of stone. The bit that you saw that was like a tool of some sort made out of chitin or bone, it now makes much more sense as you look through and see a sculpture of bones.
Like separate bones.
Yeah. Kind of forming into the body of a person, but rearranged in a way where it's not anatomically correct. Like the femur is the shoulder, but the like kneecap is out. Yeah.
Okay, it's a very Merkel-esque thing.
Sure.
I mean, but
Picasso-like, yeah.
yeah.
Where body parts are in
Um,
weird places.
I mean, I just knock it over.
Okay. You do so. As you knock it over, Lanre, you still get the sense that Max has knocked over a statue, but Max, to you, the statue hits the ground and you see various bones kind of collapse onto the ground. To Lanre, you see like stones breaking on the floor of the tile.
Got it. Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, all right, Max, what are you doing?
I
Max.
start walking around
Yeah.
and just being like, you know how strong I am. And then I look Lanre right in the eyes and I push another statue over. Do you think I can do this if this was stone? And then I walk to a third one right in front of him and I push that one too.
I'm like, Max, this is so weird. What is going on?
Now, as you were approaching that first statue, Max, you did start picking up a moderate aura coming off of the back glass door also. So before, are you returning to that, or are you going to knock over the statues first?
I mean, in that third round, it's not like... Okay, in the third round, I attempt the skill check for all of them at the same time. It's not serial through time.
It's each. Yes, I agree, but you'll have to give me another spellcraft check specific to that. Since
Yeah,
like
I know. But
each
time didn't progress. Is all I'm saying.
No,
like it's
but in general, between the 2 minutes that I said were off before you went through the door, I would say about a minute just to reorient and look around and figure out what you were doing, and now I'd say another minute of searching around and doing this. So you're at the like 4 to 5 minute mark right now.
All right, is this a level 12 or higher?
A level
lower?
12 spell?
Yeah.
These are god spells.
I mean, at this point, Vecna's been summoned, so maybe.
Sure.
I don't know.
You are getting a moderate aura off of that. It is necromantic.
Do you want me to roll a second spellcraft check for? No. Okay. To identify the spell?
You are picking up that there, and this is very recent to you. This is the same spell that you saw in effect when you guys were at the tree up by the graveyard, and it went off like a bomb. Inflict light wounds, but mass inflict light wounds.
Yeah.
Now, there's something strange happening with the door in which it's not releasing that necrotic energy. It seems like it's cast and ready, but not, I guess, inflicted at this point.
Do I know what the trigger for this spell would be?
The spell itself, no, but you believe it to be some sort of arcane trap. Just from the context of it, there has to be something that would trigger it going off. You also know that the range of that would be close, which would be 25 feet plus whatever the heck made this thing's caster levels divided by 2 times 5. So, it could be anywhere from 20 feet off the door to, I guess a tough enough person, 100 feet.
Yeah, I walk away.
Okay.
And I knock over this guy, and then I come over to Lanre, and I knock over this one, and I'm like, do you really think I'm strong enough to push these things over?
I don't understand. Is it okay if I try to push one over?
Yeah, you could definitely. You want to push over this one right here?
Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll just be like, this stone is so light.
Give me one more will save. I'm not going to allow one will save per statue, Max, but I'll give another
They're
will
all
save.
separate illusions. Okay, anyway, whatever.
With that will save, you still feel like it's stone as you tip it over. It breaks strangely.
Okay.
Maybe it was made out of like limestone and it was easy to crack, but it does break.
All right.
Are you good at sense motive?
Yeah, I'm okay at it.
Sense motive me.
Yeah. I'm like, you like tell me that. Like, Max, this is so weird.
All right, yeah, go for it if you want. Yeah, Lanre, you're starting to get worried that Max might be under the effects of some sort of spell. Maybe the pollen in here is affecting him.
Right. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, there's a lot of pollen in here, Max. You sure you
You
don't
look-
have allergies?
You look towards the gnarled tree, and like you swear, the little fruit that are on the tree are like pulsing a little bit. They're like undulating.
So, hold on. Okay, minor image, right?
Uh-huh.
So, I like pick up the bones and I move them so that they're not covered. It's not, okay, a minor image is not interactable. That's like a higher level spell.
Yes, for sure.
So, if I take, okay, I need to step back because this is not, minor image is not on an object. A minor image is just an
It's like
image in
a
space.
veil. Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't
An
move
aura.
with the target. Is not an object. The target is just a space.
That's true.
So
You haven't really
when it was,
moved these a lot.
I mean, I just knocked them over. So the bones that fell to the ground are not in the image anymore. They're on the ground elsewhere. I mean, I don't know. That's,
I will say that in knocking them over, you are correct. One of the stones eventually does kind of fall out from a general range. Lanre, I will say that you do start seeing on the ground some bones. There weren't bones there before. It came almost seemingly out of the stone statue.
Maybe Max is onto something.
pick up one of the rocks that you just pushed over and then like walk away from the statue with it. See what happens.
Alright.
Max says in character.
Yeah, I do so.
Okay. As you pick up the rock and you walk, say, towards the tree, you do notice that in your hand you are now holding what looks like maybe like part of a hip bone that's been fractured.
I immediately toss it aside. I'm like, ah!
Okay. You do so.
All right. So all these quote unquote statues, and Max doesn't. He says quote unquote. He doesn't use fingers, and because that might accidentally be some sort of a somatic component. Max says, so all these statues are really ritual constructs, probably. And GM, am I right on this? They're material components for the summoning spell?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Max, as you approach the tree itself, can you both give me a spot check? You haven't approached the tree from this direction before.
Yeah, sure. Wow, that's really
that's really
good
high.
for Max. Yeah.
Yeah. Lanre, as you approach from this right side for the first time, you see that little concave element that I showed in the image, right? There is an opening, and from this angle, you now see that there's a faint glowing in there. You're not sure what the glowing means, but Max, even though you usually stink at seeing things from a distance, you actually like kind of focus your eyes a little bit, and you see arcane symbols inside of that dark space.
Is it like a hollow that Peter Rabbit would go hide in? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, I mean, it's bigger than that because the tree is quite big. Like,
Yeah.
You don't have to duck to go into it, but yes, it is essentially an opening in the roots of this tree that you could fit in. And you see, as you approach, these symbols where previously a door was, for sure.
Okay, so runes. This could be a trap. It could be an alternate form of like a teleportation circle. It could be all kinds of stuff. As Max kind of approaches Lanre, he says, yeah, so the door behind me on the other side, that's going to explode if we go near it. So don't go. It's like that tree in the graveyard. And then as I'm getting closer, what's happening? Oh, these are the runes?
These are the runes that you see.
Okay, so a spellcraft check is not going to help me here. This is a puzzle that players have to do, right?
This is a puzzle that players have to do, yes.
Okay, all right. Is this the kind of puzzle where spellcraft checks or skill checks could give hints?
I would
After
say
all, the characters' abilities are the ones being tested, not Omid's terrible intelligence.
Right. We all know how I did on the last puzzle with Flicker Wisp, so
yeah, that's true. You
Well,
did
hold on.
almost
Let's
die.
try it for a little bit. We got some time, right? Does anybody have hard outs?
right. No,
Yeah,
I'm good
it's
for
only-
at least another hour or so.
All right. As a GM, I'm gonna try to make GM happy by actually trying to do the puzzle.
Okay.
All right. Let's see here. I will fail, but I will try. What do you think?
So where am I seeing these rooms again?
Yeah, so as you actually approach, you notice that inside of that darkened space, there's actually like a stone tablet or something. It's like it suddenly turns into stone where the door would be. And carved into the stone are these kinds of symbols. And it's glowing, giving off an arcane sort of presence. But it is actually on a physical stone object that you see these carved in.
Do I get the sense that touching these runes is going to be a trigger of some sort?
Give me a
To a
search
spell.
check.
Okay.
Just like you would for a trap check or something like that.
Okay.
Okay,
That's a nat 20.
that's pretty damn good.
I-
Max, you're a cautious fellow. Everyone has seen that before. Before you start trying to unravel this riddle, you are trying to figure out, well, okay, what is the mechanism behind it? What do I actually do to interact with it? And you recognize that actually these stones that look like one solid tablet are individual tiles. You just faintly put your finger on one and you feel that it could be depressed if you wanted it to be. You could push one in. What that would result in, you don't know. But you believe that that somehow pressing in the tile does something.
Okay. I convey that information to Lanre so that we're on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
These are buttons. Each rune is a button.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The real question is, Max, do we get in trouble for pushing the wrong buttons?
That's what I was trying to figure out, but it sounds like I didn't figure that out.
Right.
Potentially. I mean, there's definitely something up with this room, Max.
GM, what I'll do is I'm just gonna look at Max and I'll say I'm gonna go look around again real quick. I'm basically
Don't go near
just
that
gonna
door.
What's up?
Don't go near that other door. It'll explode and kill you.
Got it. And
And by near, I don't know how near.
Right. All right. I'm just gonna look around for signs that might match these rooms. Just
Okay.
to be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me pull you back into the other space. Hold on 1 second. There you go. So Max, you can look at those runes. Lanre, as you look around, are you looking at the different statues? Are you looking on the tables? What are you looking? Are you just doing a general search?
Yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna look at the statues first, and
Okay.
the ones at least that are standing. I mean, I'll even look at the rubble of the ones that we knocked over.
Okay.
Start there, and then if I don't find anything, then I do want to keep looking at like the tables that I see around the room. But that's about it.
Give me a search check. And while he's doing that, Max, are you feeling
Oh my god.
like doing anything with this interactive riddle?
So my question is,
That was bad. That was real bad, Lanre.
in the world that we live in,
Mm.
you know, like if I walked up to a wall on Earth and there was, you know, a 3-leaf clover and
Yeah.
a leaf and a heart and a diamond, I would be like, this is related to playing cards, right? Like, is
Or
there
Lucky Charms.
or yeah. Well, I didn't say horseshoes. So,
Yeah.
but or rainbows, damn it. Those were the best ones. But this set of symbols, I'm imagining these are not actually arcane runes, are they? These are just symbols on buttons, right?
The objects that you're seeing are very trigonometric, obviously.
What?
Trigonometric.
Oh.
They are not arcane.
Yeah.
Now, like, there are certain schools of Arcana that believe that there are divine geometries that can be pulled together. It's weird. Like, certain people approach Arcana from different places. Are these very specific, well-known runes of Arcana? No. They appear to just be geometric shapes.
Okay, but there's no. Is there anything in the world that Max would know about that would be like these shapes go together?
No. The only thing you can tell is that there are matching shapes within the different tiles, but no. Nothing that would align to like known symbology or runes.
Understood. All right. Or like, playing cards or whatever.
Yeah. Max, as you're like super hyper focused on this riddle, Lanre is just like bumping into things as he's searching around. Just like you hear like noise and clutter.
Hold on, let me do a listen check. There's a high chance I won't hear him.
You hear him bump into a statue and it falls down.
Without even looking, I say, "Good job."
Yeah, just kind of table clearing, just brushing my hand across the table. Just
destroy all those statues. They're obviously bad for this environment. It's bad for feng shui.
Right. God.
So, Max.
All right. Okay.
I go back and I look at Max. I said, I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
All right. I trust you.
I'll go ahead and pull you back to this scene. Yeah, there you go. I'll go ahead and make this visible to all players.
So Omid is looking at this. I mean, Max says, all right, so there's multiple things that be going on here. This could be one of those games where you got to match up the shapes and then they disappear. Like Candy Crush.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Do they have Candy Crush where you come from? I mean, it's fairly popular in the planet. It's not exactly these symbols, but it's cool. Same idea.
Yep.
But other than that, I'm not picking up a whole lot of stuff as a player.
Yeah.
So Max does not get divine inspiration from some sort of an external force that tells him what the solution to this is.
Right. The only thing you remember is Flickerwisp once told you, sometimes you just got to press the button.
I push right here.
Okay. Lanre, are you watching him as he does that?
Yeah, I'm going to just kind of see what happens.
Okay. As you press there, okay, these three symbols.
I don't know what three you're talking about.
These three symbols that match right here, they all disappear.
All right.
Please hold. As they do, something strange happens as they disappear. The tablets start moving.
Screwed it up. Can I reset?
They start falling like this.
Oh,
and then something else happens that's strange.
Damn it.
These begin to disappear.
Yeah, but I screwed it up. Damn it.
And as they disappear, something else happens. These start to fall. Oops. Hold on.
Max is like, as this is all happening, a look of horror goes over Max's face.
Okay.
Like he knows what he did wrong.
Finally, as those move in place, these three also disappear, resulting in the configuration that you're seeing right now. Yeah. All of a sudden, you're like watching this and you're like, oh, man. There's still tiles here. You like wait and you try to see if the door opens or anything like that.
Mm.
How long are you waiting to see if the door opens?
At this point, Max sort of like is thinking about what it looked like originally, and he's like, I know what I did wrong. And
We need to push another button.
it has to. So okay, GM. Now that I've seen this happening, is it minimum 3 adjacent?
Excuse me?
Does 3 of the things have to be next to each other in order to disappear?
No, you didn't notice that. For instance, as you pressed it, it happened to be 3 at one point. There was another one that was 4. Why these 2?
And 3, but not 2. 3.
Yeah.
There was a 3, a 4, and a 3. Those are what disappeared.
Yeah.
Correct, but you're not. I mean, whether it was because it's 2 or some other reason, you're not sure. For sure, like the first set that you removed disappeared, and then some stuff moved, and then stuff that like lined up with each other disappeared, and then you were left with this image. Now,
right. I touched this here.
Before you can touch there, as you like watch this procedure occur, that took about 3 or 6 seconds for each of the stone tablets to move.
Okay.
Before you can even touch it, please hold. Hopefully this will work. Yes, it does. The tiles re-emerge,
Okay.
forming into this position.
So you only get 1 touch. I look at Lanre and say,
Lanre, what are you doing as he's kind of explaining what he did wrong here? What are you doing simultaneously?
I'm just watching the stones and around. I'm watching the stones, and then I kind of glance around us just to again make sure that nothing's sneaking up on us or something.
You taking any notes or anything while that's happening?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Lanre is taking mental notes just to like watch Max and like.
Not physical paper.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Give me a spot check. Max, the tiles appear before you again. Let's see.
Pushes there.
Okay. No, Lanre. You focus back and try to assist Max with the symbols. Max, back to you. So what did you just say you wanted to do?
Push here.
Okay. Interesting. That's pretty good, Max.
Yep, I see what's going on.
Okay, as you press here.
I mean, either something will happen or nothing will happen. We'll see.
These 2 disappear.
All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
These 4 slide down.
Mm-hmm.
These 4 disappear. Hold on. These 5 slide down. And these 2 actually slide all the way down. These 3 disappear. These 2 disappear. These 2 disappear.
So if there was movement, 2 is enough. If there wasn't movement, it has to be 3.
Right.
Yeah.
As you do so, the arcane magic kind of
divinely inspired.
Uh-huh.
There is a bright light that appears from the tree, and underneath the tree you see a doorway now where the tablet was before. Yeah, there's a doorway there now. It looks like the doorway that you remember from before.
Can Max have an opportunity to create canon?
Sure.
All right. Yeah, this is just like Lollipop Lampoon, which everybody plays. I mean, the symbols are different, but it's the same game.
all wizards play.
Oh,
It's a wizard game.
Yeah,
I
it's a
look at
wizard
Max.
game.
I'm like, Lollipop Lampoon. What?
Yeah.
As the door opens as the door appears and the tiles fall apart and the arcane magic wears off, you hear a crumbling back behind you. Lanre, as you're focused on the door opening and you hear this sudden crumbling, you also hear the sound of metal clanking running towards you. And before you can react,
Uh-oh.
From what direction was it?
from behind you guys,
I mean, what's behind?
the gardens, you're actually hearing it from within the room itself. Jesus, my internet just crapped out. Give me a second.
So, was it the puzzle that did it?
No, the puzzle fell apart. Well, the puzzle fell apart. The door appeared, a bright light occurred, but from behind you, you now heard the crumbling of maybe statues or something like that. But the rush of metal and footsteps as Lanre, a masterwork Grillandier, swings at you.
I don't like the sound of that.
That's a natural 1, though, on that guy. So we'll attack from this one. 13 to hit. Not great. Does that strike?
Is that normal AC or touch?
This will actually be your flat-footed AC, because this is a sneak attack.
No.
Okay.
Does not hit.
And then finally this one. 18 to hit.
Yes, that hits.
Okay, you take 9 points of damage from a skeletal warrior who has appeared behind you all. There are 3 of them. I am going to go ahead and start an encounter. Please roll initiative.
Wow, that's nearly impossible for me to get. Why?
That is
Hold
so
on.
low for me too.
How
you guys
is
roll?
that possible? No, my initiative is 8. How do I roll? Did I roll a nat 1?
You must have rolled a nat 1.
Jesus Christ.
my initiative is 6.
Yeah, that was not good timing. But as you look back, you see these 3 skeletons. You're not sure, Max, whether this was triggered by the failure and you are just now seeing these guys, or whether it was the success that created these. But nonetheless, we are going to begin. The first one to act is this skeleton warrior. He is going to attack Lanre with his claws now. This Grillandier having been used, he's just going to use his other hand, his skeletal hand, to swipe at you. 16 to hit. This is against now your regular AC.
Regular AC, no.
Okay,
not hit.
noted. Let's see. He is going to move back, I believe. One second here. Okay, yes. He's going to take a step back this way. That is his turn. Next up is this one that is more in front of Max. Max, he is going to take a step diagonally, and he is going to attack you with the Grillandier.
I mean, my AC's 12, so it's gonna hit.
Maybe. They've rolled some natural ones. There you go. There's another natural 1. These beings not rolling great. He swings at you, and a branch of the overhanging tree slaps at the Grillandier. Let me roll one more thing to see if it falls out of his hands. Okay. The Greylandier stays in his hands as he swings through. That is his turn. Max, it is your turn. What are you doing?
Sorry, somebody just walked in.
No worries.
Sorry.
Lanre, you're going to be next up. And keep in mind, you had an arrow out, but I don't believe you had your bow out.
I
So
did
you
not.
will have to
I did not.
potentially arm that.
Yeah, but that's not an action. That's just.
It's arming a weapon.
That's a move action.
Yeah, he can do it as a
Drawing
move
or
action.
shoot. Yeah. Do these things look like they would be hard to hit?
They've got a little bit of like light armor on. They came up at you guys pretty quick. So maybe they're fairly dexterous, but they're also skeletons. I mean, no, they're big enough of a target that they wouldn't be like particularly hard to strike. But they are wearing light armor. By light armor, I mean chainmail. So it's actually not that light.
I'm going to. Is this an empty spot or is this solid? I can't walk there. Diagonal.
It's empty, but you would have to kind of climb over some roots, so it'll slow your movement. That's why I made it restrictive.
Yeah, but can I do a 5-foot step?
I'll still allow a 5-foot step. Yeah. You could use a 5-foot step. I'll push you over there.
If I go into if I go into that spot, if I wanted to move in the future, would that be slowing?
It'll slow you. Yeah, it would. It'd be like half speed in the future if you moved out of that. So it would take you 10 feet to move out of it potentially if it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it anyway. All right, so I'll back up, and then I'll cast a spell.
Okay.
I'm gonna cast slow on these 3 creatures.
Okay. So they have to pass a DC 19. Is that the true DC, or do you need to add anything else contextually?
No, because I haven't cast Enhanced Flow or anything.
Okay. So let me roll DC saving. Oh God, how many ones can I get today?
Good timing.
Okay, they are all slowed. So let me go ahead and add that to them.
So what that means is their movement and attacks drastically. So slow creature can take only a single move action or a single attack action, but not both. Additionally, it takes a -1 penalty on attack rolls, AC, reflex saves. And even if it moves, it only goes half the distance that it normally can. Yeah.
Yep, all correct. Okay. So
Nice.
that is definitely going to affect some things.
I think that's my turn.
That is, yep. Lanre, Max casts this. You see that the skeletons that were moving almost at a frightening speed before, already you can see kind of a more fluid and like slowed nature to their arm movements. What are you doing?
I am going to take a full attack at of one of these guys.
Okay, now you didn't have your bow out, so you can't take a full attack. You can only take one. You're going to use your move action to basically pull out the bow and knock, and then you can get one attack action.
Got it. Okay, and I am also then going to use the many shot.
Hey, GM.
Yeah.
If you have an attack bonus of +1 or higher, you may draw a weapon as a free action combined with a regular move. If you have 2-weapon fighting feat, you can draw a lighter or one-handed weapon. Does that apply at all?
Now, because basically that would mean, like, if Lanre, for instance, you were moving, while you're moving, you could pull out the bow and it wouldn't be an additional impact to you. But since you're trying to do a full attack, it wouldn't change it. You would still only get one attack.
Okay. Well, let's try
Got it. And are these aberrations or elementals?
They are not. They are definitely undead skeletons.
Got it.
Whatever illusion magic was overtopping you before, you now see them for the skeletons they are.
Cool. Okay.
So which one are you targeting? Left, right, bottom?
The one to Lanre's right as we are looking at this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Oof, natural 1? How is that possible?
Holy moly.
You have an attack bonus of 18?
It's the many shot plus like precise shot and
that's with the -4 still on there. He's still got a 19.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. How is that a 19 to strike, but you rolled a 1? Your base attack bonus
+18. Even with the -4, it's +18.
Where are you getting the plus? So the +10 is your BAB. The +6 is your dex. Holy crap! Why is your dex +6?
That's from that's from Flicker Wisp's gift to me.
Oh man, you are like super powerful. How have I never noticed this? And then the +5 is coming from what?
Yeah, that's a good question. Is that point blank?
Yeah, no, point blank is the +1.
Yeah. So where's the +5 coming from?
Weapon?
Oh wait, the -4. Yeah, the -4 is the many shot penalty, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. I just want to make sure
that it's calculating accurately.
Just triple check that there's not like an enhancement of +5 for this bow, because that's definitely not what it's supposed to be. No, it's supposed to be a +1 bow. Give me a second, because
if you go to your combat tab and then look at the row that that weapon is on, this should tell you what the attack bonus is in one of the columns.
It says +17 on the attack bonus.
Yeah, so +17.
Which makes sense. That's basically his dex, which is +6, his BAB, which is 10, and +1 because it's a magical longbow. So he's getting 17 off the bat. Oh, and then 18 was the point blank.
Yeah, but the 5 still doesn't make sense.
It's just weird the way it's calculating it, I think. Anyways, I don't know what that was. I'm going to have to dig into that. But you did roll a 1, so that doesn't strike, unfortunately. Wild. I am so confused how somebody rolls a 19 and with a natural one. Yeah. All right. With that, unfortunately, your arrow does. It's not that your skill in shooting wasn't correct. It's that you like rushed it, and the arrow just kind of like falls to the ground instead of firing off.
This and my search capability is really coming through right now.
Yeah.
No, I got an idea for you, GM. This is he used the arrow that he was poking around in places with.
Right.
And it had like pollen stuck to the tip, and it just like threw the balance off.
Completely off.
Yeah.
All right. With that, this skeletal warrior is going to take an attack on you, Lanre, with its Greylandier, which is a reach weapon. It does get flank now that this one has moved into this position.
Oh, great.
And I believe when you are flanked,
how does it get flank?
Both of these beings currently have reach-capable weapons.
Oh, one thing, GM. I mean, and I realize you can tell me if you allow this or not, but I do have a dodge feat.
I will say, if you wish to retroactively add it to this one on the right, since that's the one you were trying to attack, then that's fine.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like it would make sense because I was shooting at him and then he missed, and I'm like, oh crap. And so,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see. So this is going to be a +2 bonus from the flank. What's the dodge bonus that you get?
+1.
Okay. So it's like negating one of that point.
Yeah.
When you're flanked, you don't use your flat-footed, do you, Max?
No.
No. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Flanking is just flanking is just the bonus to the attacker side.
Yes.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, he's going to try to strike you with the flanking, but you are getting a +1 bonus against him. Yep. 20 to strike, I think, is still good enough to hit you. Oh,
AC?
Against your normal AC.
And it is not.
Wow, that dexterity. Okay. He tries to swing through with the Grillandier, but that slowing that has occurred. Your dexterity is a little too fast for his swing speed, and he misses. He's not able to do anything else. I believe he would still be able to take a 5-foot step, Max? Or am I wrong with slow?
No, you either get an attack or a move.
But not a 5-foot step. Let me see.
I don't know. The spell says the creature can either move or attack, not both.
I would say the 5-foot step is still always available, though, as a swift action, regardless.
But it consumes your movement. When you do it, it consumes your movement, and you can't move anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. It's up to you as a GM, but I don't know.
I will use that interpretation in the future as well.
Yeah.
All right. I agree. That is his turn. He did miss. It is back to the top. This one south of you, Lanre, is going to try to strike you with the Grillandier also. They're all kind of surrounding and trying to poke at you. 18 to strike is probably not going to strike either.
Nope.
Okay. Then that is his turn since he can't do anything else. How long does a slow act, Max? Is it minutes? I'm scrolling back up to see. Slow lasts for rounds. Okay.
9 rounds.
9 rounds. The one right here, getting frustrated at the quick moving elf, he is going to take a step towards Max. And Max, you can see his claws are out, but he does not strike you as he slowly comes at you like almost like a statuesque, like when he was a statue, but slowly moving. Max, it is your turn. You are up on the roots.
Okay, can I move here?
As a 5-foot step, yes, or otherwise as part of an additional movement, it would be 10 feet.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't want to. Yeah, all right, let me think. Seeing that Lanre had difficulty hitting one of these guys, so hold on. When they come adjacent, they don't use their Grillandier, right? They just claw at you?
From what you're seeing, yeah.
Okay. From what I know about that weapon, is it a kind of reach that does not work against adjacent?
It would be more difficult when it's adjacent, yeah.
Because, reach,
the blade portion of it is at the end, so it would be awkward to swing it otherwise. But you can, people can swing it closer, but it would be more awkward. They would take a penalty.
Okay, I'm just saying, SRD reach weapon, except for chain or whip, they cannot attack. Like they straight up cannot attack adjacent. They have the minimum range is the reach distance.
Yes.
All right. So these are not like that. They just have a dual capability.
They do,
depending
yes.
on how far. Okay.
With a penalty. Yep.
Okay. Understood. All right. I stepped this way and cast a magic missile.
The one thing I will say, Max, the more you're going into these like banyan roots, you are going to need to make a balance check if you move to that spot. I should have said that before, but you would have to take a balance check. It would be a pretty simple DC. It would be a DC of... Ooh, these are pretty wide. Let me check here. The balance check would be... It would still be a 10.
So these are like between 7 and 12 inches wide?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you are able to step up into the roots, holding position. You actually do gain height up here. You're up like now 2 feet from the ground, 2 or 3 feet off the ground.
Okay. Do these look like they're like... Can I do a knowledge check to determine if these are like high-level creatures?
Yeah, you can do that.
So undead would be religion?
Yep. Okay. Your sort of necromantic side helps out with this check. You do get the sense that these are not your basic skeletons that have been conjured. These are greater warrior skeletons.
I'm going to cast a magic missile.
Okay, sure.
Just on the one I've got targeted now.
Okay.
So all of that damage goes onto the single guy.
And that's this one right here?
Yeah, so it should show a little bubble, like an orange bubble, right?
Yeah, like a little orange circle, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
and he does not have spell resistance, so that is 2, 6, 8, 11, 15, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He takes 15 points of damage. Yep, nope. All of that is force damage, so that does strike. You watch as the skeleton gets hit by the missiles. Parts of his armor kind of chip away, fall off. His like hip bone kind of cracks. He's looking kind of rough.
What's the hip bone connected to?
It's actually, in this particular case, connected to a series of rib cage rib bones.
So weird. All right.
It's very strange.
So am I getting the feeling that these bones are the bones that fell to the ground just being like reconstructed, or do I get the feeling these were like summoned in somehow?
These were summoned in.
Okay.
The bones that you saw were almost like some sort of maybe ritual, like you said, but these were clearly summoned in via the summon undead spell.
All right, that's my turn.
Lanre, what are you doing? You got 3 around you right now, but they've been very unsuccessful in striking you.
Yeah. I guess I'm just gonna take another shot at that guy who I missed because I'm real angry about it.
Okay, the one to your right, go for it. I mean, anything other than a 1 will probably strike him this time.
Right.
And you have a full action if you wish now.
Yeah,
full
I'm gonna
attack.
use rapid shot instead.
Okay.
And I'll do
Now,
a full attack.
when you do a range attack next to someone,
That's a good
that's
question.
going to be an issue. I believe they will get an attack of opportunity against you.
Okay.
This one and this one. And technically this one, because they're all reach weapons. This one will get it with a claw, and these two will get it with like Grenadier if you fire right now.
Right. tricky because I don't want to just totally leave Max out of
He's
some
very
form of
squishy.
defense.
Very
Yeah.
squishy.
You guys talking about me?
I will.
So what did Lanre do just now?
He didn't do anything yet.
Oh,
He's
okay.
worried because he's surrounded about firing
But
off arrows.
I guess if I move, no matter where I move, they basically all get attack of opportunity.
Unless you use your entire turn to move, in which
Right.
case it's like a retreat, essentially, that you don't get attacks of opportunity against you.
No, I'm just gonna stay here and fight. So
Yeah, it's called withdraw.
Yeah, withdraw.
And the trick with withdraw is that you only it's weird. Like if you ever decide to do that, you gotta look at the actual instructions for it because it's not what you think it might be.
you have to hold L and R and just pound it, kind of thing.
It's like when you withdraw, you move up to double your speed, and the square you start in is not considered threatened by any opponent, but other squares could be. So
Interesting.
a lot of times it doesn't help you.
Yeah. Or you can just suck it up and take some attack of opportunities against you and position yourself a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just want to do a full attack though, and then I'll just have a 5-foot step. But that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're gonna probably attack of opportunity against you when you do that, but that's okay.
Right. So let's go for it. I'm gonna fire, so I guess I'll take the attacks of opportunity.
Okay. I'll go ahead and say go ahead and fire your arrows first, and they will strike sequentially.
Okay. Are you hitting the same guy with all the arrows? Who are you starting with? I don't know.
Yeah, it's the same guy. It's the one guy I'm just gonna go after.
The one he has the dodge bonus against.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, go for it. Okay. So the first one does strike and confirm. Oh, was that confirmed? No. Okay.
No.
The first one is your. This is Rapid Shot. Got it. So all three of those do strike. The third one doesn't, however, confirm, unfortunately.
Damn.
Yeah, just missed it. So he takes 16 points of damage. Still pretty good. The arrows fire off. Boom, 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 boom. All three fired off in quick order. They strike and they stick into like the collarbone, into the hip. You see your arrows physically. A couple of them snap. One of them is still stuck in his collarbone, but as he's moving, two of them snap. He does take that 16 points of damage. However, they are going to take an attack of opportunity against you. So this is the claw coming from the one upper left.
Nope.
That misses. The one in front of you is going to strike with a Grenadier, which misses. Man, they suck at rolling. God, were any of those above a 10? The first one was barely above a 10. Okay. This is why they don't want to attack you anymore. That is, however, your turn. Unless you want to take a 5-foot step.
I am going actually to just stay here.
Okay. You do so. Back to this one. He turns away from you, takes the Grenadier, and strikes over towards Max, the squishy one. They're like pretty much frustrated at you. 23 to strike you, Max, is definitely going to strike. You take 11 points of damage, Max, from that one.
Okay.
That is his turn. They are still being slowed for several more rounds. This one is going to take a move. He is going to move. I'm going to say he's going to try to. He can't grapple you. Can't charge. Man. He's going to just come right through here. And let's see, how far would they normally be able to go? Ooh, man, his land speed is so slow now because of the spell. That is as far as he can go.
Lanre would get an attack of opportunity using his arrow.
If you wish, Lanre, you have an arrow in your hand that you can use as a weapon to strike at this guy if you want.
Got it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll try to take a swipe at him.
Okay, now I believe. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can add it as a. We're just gonna probably have to do this manually. So why don't you just roll me a d20?
It's an unarmed strike, except
yeah.
the damage is different.
So you can do a melee strike, and we'll see if it hits, and then we'll check the damage. So just melee attack it. Okay, that is gonna strike. So that's gonna be arrow.
It's really low. It's like a 1d3 or 1d4 or something like that.
So you take a -4 on the attack roll, but that's still going to be good enough, I believe. Let me see.
Why is it -4?
When you use it as a melee weapon, the arrow takes a -4.
Oh, okay.
That's an 18 to hit, which just strikes the AC.
Even with the -1 to AC from slow?
Oh, yeah, more so now. Yeah, thank you for that. It is... and then it deals a damage of a dagger of its size. So that would be a 1d3 since an arrow is a small. The arrow is medium size because your bow is medium size. So it strikes like a dagger, which I believe is a 1d4.
1d4. Yeah.
Plus your strength.
Plus 1.
So, do a 1d4 plus 1. Okay, you do strike him for 2 points of damage. It's not nothing. Now, unfortunately, the arrow itself is not magical. And as you strike out with the arrow, you notice one thing. The arrow, it like bounces off the skeleton itself. The skeleton does not really take damage even though you strike it from the arrow. Okay, that is your attack of opportunity. That is also his turn, but that was at the end of the round, so now it is back to. Let's see. Oh, that was his turn. This is the top of the round, so that is crucial. You just used your attack of opportunity for the round. That is his turn. This one, closer to Max, over by the tree, is going to strike out with the Grillandier. A 10 to hit. That will not hit you, Max.
That misses.
And it would have been bad damage. That is his turn. So, Max, it is back up to you.
All right. So he didn't move, right?
Nope, he did not move.
All right. I'm going to take a bunch of... I can't. That would be too much. But all of them would get attack of opportunities with Grandier against me, right?
Correct. If you moved anything more than 5 feet right now. And any movement right now, if you didn't want to take a penalty against it, would still have to be a balance check. Because you're up on roots.
What about a 5 foot?
Same thing as last time. You would have to pass the Now it depends. If you're just hopping off here, I would allow it without. If you're going deeper in, then it would be a balance check.
No, I think I just want to hop off.
Okay. Yeah. If you hop off, there's no check for that. You want me to move them?
No.
Okay.
I can move.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking.
Sure.
All right. Which one of these guys is the least hurt? Like,
this
I know that I hit
been
this guy
struck
a lot. Okay, this
the one right in
has
front
not
of
been
Lanre
struck.
has not been struck.
All right. Okay. So if I cast, I'm gonna cast defensively. I forget the rules for that. I'm looking it up.
It's you make a concentration check against a DC 15, I believe.
You can use 15. The DC of the check is 15 plus
The spell that you're casting.
is spell level.
Spell level, yes.
Okay,
So it'd
all
be
right.
15
Let
plus
me
whatever.
let me do that. I'm gonna do that.
Which for you is pretty much automatic because your concentration's super
20.
high.
All right, yeah. So I can cast a level 12 or something, 13.
Yes. Yes.
All right,
Basically,
I'm
unless
gonna
you roll a 1 or
cast-
2, it's not really an issue for you.
and that doesn't take up movement or action or anything, right? That's just part of casting. All right.
Yep, it's just part of casting.
I'm gonna do Command Undead.
Okay.
On the one that's not hurt. He gets a will save to negate it.
Yep.
And the DC is 20.
There's no chance he's passing this without a nat 20, basically. No, he's got a little bit of a chance, but it's basically not. Wow.
Boo.
The 19.
Boo!
That stings. I really
Telling you,
wanted
wizards are useless.
I really wanted to see that, actually.
Max
Yeah.
is gonna hop off 5 feet. That's his turn. He gets ready to die.
Lanre, for a moment in Max's eyes, you saw a necrotic type magic that he doesn't use very often in the controlling of undead. It was interesting. Lanre, it is your turn. You are surrounded.
Yeah. Yeah. I am going to.
Man, you're really missing those marshals that you usually play with.
All right. Man. Max damage is this one?
Yeah, with the magic missiles.
Okay. I am going to, and if I take a 5-foot step, do they get an attack of opportunity or no?
Never with a 5-foot step, no.
Got it. Okay, so I'm going to, yeah, I'm going to attack.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm going to move 5 feet here.
Yeah.
Is that Viv?
Yeah, she's sitting in my lap right now. She's like, who are you talking to?
Yeah.
She's critiquing your play style.
Exactly.
She's like, yeah, that's a good idea, Dad.
Well,
a great
everything,
idea.
no, it's more like everything is like, why are you doing that?
All right, so you wish to walk towards Max. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to like basically get in the way if I can, and then I'm gonna attack the guy to my left now that
Okay.
damaged.
Yeah. You have your full attack if you want it. They will get attacks of opportunity this round against you.
Yeah.
Since that was last round.
But just with the claw, right?
These two with the claw, this one with the Grenadier, but it will happen after you fire off. So go ahead and fire off. Okay. So the 22 does strike the one to the left for 7 damage. He's still standing, so that means the second arrow's flying at him. That second arrow is enough to crumble. As it does, the skeleton doesn't fall to the ground. It like disappears into like a pile of bone ash at the roots of the tree. It is no more.
So it got destroyed at 0.
Yep, it got destroyed at 0. I will say you can swing your attack to one of the other ones if you wish now.
I mean, I would probably go back to the one I was attacking before, although I think I get a penalty because I don't have any space between. Like for ranged attacks, I think you need at least 5 feet, I want to say.
No,
I
that's
think
what's
it's
causing
just
the attack of opportunity.
Yeah, that's just the attack of opportunity.
Yeah, no further penalty. So you can do that, and that will hit him for 4 points of damage. It helps when you use the magical bow for sure.
So you're hitting that last one like execution style, like, hey you.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
point blank, right in his
It is
face.
not, however, enough to take them down, so they are both going to claw at you. 15 won't strike. Come on, somebody with a nat 20 here. Okay. Thus far, they're really struggling to hit you, Lanre. That's why they like Max.
I just
that
think of like Lanre with some Matrix moves, you know, like just like
for sure.
swinging around.
Yeah, especially the slow movement of their Grenadiers. It's like pretty easy for you to dodge them at this point. And you do have the dodge bonus against the one. With that,
Can Max use his reaction to try to taunt this guy to come closer to him?
yeah, give me a intimidation if you want.
Can I? Oh, let me see here. Hold on.
Or you could do a bluff. You could choose either.
I was thinking like, what's the one for a feint?
It's
Is that a bluff? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do a bluff.
Versus
That's what I'm
a
trying to
sense
do.
motive.
I'm
Yep.
trying to get him to like come towards me.
Sure. Yeah, go for it.
Never mind.
You like try to make a really awkward motion, but he's like, the skeleton, even though it's stupid, it's like it looks at its Greyland deer. It's like, nah, I'm good right here.
Maybe its stupidity was in its favor. It's like I have no idea what you're doing.
Exactly. It mindlessly is attacking the easiest way it can, and that will be with the Greyland deer against you.
Oh my god! How does it miss against me?
He's just like, you know,
amazing.
when I set up this room, it was supposed to take you a lot longer with the puzzle. There were going to be a lot more.
Listen.
More time for
Omid may not do well with most puzzles, but you picked the one thing that he spent a good 5 years of his life dedicated to. Okay.
Stupid Candy Crush. All right, that is his turn. The other one is also going to attempt to attack you, Max.
I'm just wondering, I think I know why now we haven't seen an Angry Birds puzzle.
Yes.
So hold on. The other one, this guy is attacking past Lanre to hit me.
Correct,
Right.
Yes. He's like
Sweet.
stabbing with the Greyland deer.
He's like poking under my armpit or something.
Not well. Yeah, that is their turns. They're really just like struggling to strike you guys.
Wow.
It is back to you, Max. While you're thinking, Max, the puzzle, I will give you a little bit of background on the puzzle.
Huh?
Each time you failed the puzzle, a certain number of skeletons would be summoned
Okay.
until the puzzle was solved. So solving it on the second one really hurt GM.
Nice.
And
Nice.
really helped us.
Awesome. Awesome.
Indeed.
All right. Okay. So if I move from where I am, I'm definitely getting an attack of opportunity.
They have already taken. Oh no. Yes, they have already taken an attack of opportunity this round. Actually,
No,
the round
since their
reset.
last turn, they just went. It gets reset when they go.
Yeah, you're right. So they actually do have it.
Yeah.
So this
It's not based
one-
on turn. It's not based on round. It's based on have they used it
When
since
they
their
did it.
last turn.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So they don't have it. All right. Or they do still
do
have
have
it, so they are going to attack me if I move. All right.
Correct.
I'm going to cast defensively again.
Okay.
Do my concentration check. Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
enough.
That'll work.
All right. I'm going to cast Curse of Impending Blades.
Sure.
Hold on. I'm thinking.
Yeah.
No. I do Bone Fiddle.
Okay.
On
ironic.
and I'm gonna do it on this guy.
I'm just looking up both of them. Which guy are you doing it against?
The left, the one with the orange
Okay.
bubble. And Bone Fiddle does he gets a Fortitude to negate
Okay.
DC something 20.
Okay. Why
So
was
go
the
ahead and do
damage-
that.
Why was your damage
No.
so low? What'd you roll on that?
It's I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 3, but it doesn't matter if he.
If he negates.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to be clear, the one on the left.
This one,
Okay,
the one with the
yeah.
orange bubble on. Yeah.
Okay. Let me go and select and roll the saving throw.
Okay.
He fails.
For the next 9 rounds, he is going to take 3d6 points of sonic damage each round.
As long as you hold your concentration.
Yeah, which
Can-
it's very hard.
Please
for me to
tell
lose
me you're
concentration.
still holding on to that little chitin bone flute and you're playing this tiny little bone
Yeah.
flute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Normally, I have a little miniature fiddle,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to be a silver fiddle.
Yeah.
Or, but if you allow me to like use an alternate component, then that can be the flavor. But
In this case, yes.
I do have the fiddle in my bag, but
Understood. Yep.
Yeah.
No, in this case, I'll allow the bone since it's
Okay.
apropos. Okay, so he does take the 6 points, and just remind me each round on your turn.
Yeah.
About the other damage.
Yeah, I'll do that. So this one's dead,
Yep.
right?
And ashes. Yep.
I will take a 5-foot step down here. Actually, no, hold on. I'm going to take a 5-foot step this way.
Sure.
Because that makes this guy have to use a claw against me.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll
Okay,
do that.
that is your turn. Lanre, it is back to you. What are you doing?
Yeah, I am going to. I guess I'll just shoot. I'm gonna. Yeah.
Hey, GM. If he steps back here, does he get a height advantage, or is that only for melee attacks?
It's only for melee.
Yeah, I don't think it matters for range. And I'll stay close actually, because then I can hopefully distract them or at least get in the way from going.
It's actually better for you because their attack of opportunities are going to be less painful if they use the claw than if you
Right.
move away.
So I'll attack the guy to the right here. This guy.
Okay, go for it.
Yeah, you can see the other one that I just hit with the spell kind of still resonating. It's weird.
Yeah. His bones are like slowly vibrating. And again, the attack of opportunities will occur after the shots. So, this first arrow is enough. As it strikes, poof, whatever skeletal remains were in front of you turn into just like a fine bone ash on the ground. It is no more.
And then I guess the other two I will turn towards the guy right in front of me.
Yes. And with that, obviously both of those strike. You do 16 points of damage. He is still standing. So he is going to take a claw attack against you, but fails. They are not rolling well. That is your turn, I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Max, the one that...
Actually, what I will do is I will take a 5-foot step next to Max.
Okay, got it. Max, the one that you are resonating with your fiddle, with your flute playing, is going to try to hit you to stop you from doing that with the Greylandier.
A plus 16 on concentration checks.
Holy moly.
But he got a nat 20.
So
now, he didn't confirm, which would make it a
so
very
it's only a
difficult-
7 damage, yeah.
7 damage.
Yeah. So what do I need to...
You do need to make a DC 17, so anything other than a 1, I think you pass it. And even that...
This is a check, not a save,
Yeah,
so
so I think
nat
you
1
save
is
it.
not a failure. I auto-save.
Yeah, you'll auto-save.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, roll it just for shits and giggles.
Okay. For flavor, I got a 30.
Almost tauntingly, you take the shot to your ribs from the Greylandier, but the music will not stop. You are like a great jazz musician. It is
That was
back
As
to
the
you.
bodies hit the floor.
Yeah.
In Terthus, that's what jazz is.
Yes, jazz is just electronica.
Yeah. EDM.
Max, it is back to your turn with that bone fiddle.
All right. I step here.
Yep.
5-foot step.
Yep.
And then, let's see here. Yeah, okay, I'll roll the 3d6 again.
Sure.
That's 12 damage.
Does he get a save each time?
Nope.
Dagger.
Yeah,
He
that's
takes...
a 5th edition thing.
Yeah.
Unless the spell somehow says it in the description itself, it does not get the save again and again and again. Oh, hold on, no. Hold on. Very good.
Does it do it?
There's an ambiguous thing, but No. It just says a successful save negates the damage and ends the spell, but it doesn't say that you get to keep rolling it. That's a 5th edition thing where you save every round against a spell that's active against you by default. The 3rd edition...
No. Hold on. It is pretty clear. Each round on its turn, the victim must make a fortitude save or take 3d6. So it is explicit in this particular spell's wrong.
You're right.
Yeah. So it is still against the DC 20.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's see. Not that it's going to help, but we'll find out.
We'll see. Who knows?
And that is a fortitude save.
Yeah.
Not great for skeletons.
Yeah, but he just has to beat it once and it's over.
It does not beat it. And with that, as the flute magical music plays, you watch as the bones start vibrating faster than the slowed being's movements and eventually just explode from within. A poof of bone dust just flies into the air and falls to the ground in a nice clean circle, as this one is also no more.
Max says drop the bass on him.
Is that what you did?
And I look and I'm like, it's all about that bass.
All about the bass.
As you two look around, you see no further movement from any of the statues. The statues themselves still look like stone statues other than the ones that have been toppled, and you see bones scattered at the ground.
Hey, GM.
Yeah.
Since we got a couple minutes, I got a question.
Couple, sure.
This is like the alchemy place, right?
It is, for sure, yes.
Can I do a quick tally of alchemical material that's here? Like, is there anything that's here in mass?
Of raw alchemicals? Yeah, there are.
Materials that could be used to make alchemical substances.
It just depends how long you want to search around for. But if you want to give me a search check, I'll reduce the amount of time for however long you wish to take. And I can do that out of session to tell you what you gather.
Got 23.
Okay. Is there a specific amount of time?
No, so I'm not. So here's what I'm trying to do.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to look for stuff and put them in my bag.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to assess if right here there is something that is a material that is normally used to make alchemical substances in enough of a quantity that could make a large number of that thing that it could make.
Okay, noted. Let me give you that out of session. The only thing that I want to know is how long would you sort of gather that stuff up before you'd say, okay, we got to keep going? Are you taking minutes?
So that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to see if I can use a fabricate in order to turn the substances all around me into like a number of flasks or whatever the alchemical substance is.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The only thing I would say is the search check is more functioning for, there is no pile of things just like cleanly. So the search check would be like, okay, there is enough quantity of stuff in this room. They're just not next to each other. So you theoretically could do that, and I could do that out of session for you.
Kind of know the general layout of this place. I mean, one of my focuses, like, mechanically is alchemy, and I'm at this school, so all right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to see if I can, in the heat of battle, immediately turn materials that in a space that I'm like familiar with, that material might not belong to me, right? In normal circumstances, I would just stare at it and be like, oh, that'd be nice. But like, we're in the war, and like, I'm looking at commandeering material for the greater effort, and immediately turning it into stuff using my fabricate spell, which I do have. Right?
Can you look up for me which alchemical recipes you know while I go?
That's not how it works. You just know them all, and you just do DC checks against them to be able to do them.
You're talking about baseline alchemical items.
Yeah, because fabricate, all you need to be able to know is that you can make it. That's all.
I see.
You don't learn.
So you're looking for things like what? Hold on one second. Like you're trying to make potentially an acid or smoke stick or alchemist fire or antitoxin, those kinds of things.
Sort of things, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Noted.
And I can target 90 cubic feet of material and turn it into
yes.
alchemical substances like with a
Give
single
me
spell.
give me a alchemy check also. Is that what
Okay.
it is? Let me see. Yeah, alchemy check as well
Sure.
against the DCs for the typical components. And then-
39.
okay, yeah. Then you could definitely make anything on that list.
And
I will
is yeah, okay, all right.
I'll out of session resolve that.
Okay, but you get what my intention is, right? I'm trying
Yes.
to like do a Mary Poppins and make a bunch of stuff in this room start swirling around in the air and then land in my bag as alchemical substance.
Specific to those objects, definitely you can do that, yes.
Sweet. All right.
All right, Lanre, with this closeout, you do see the door behind you through the tree, and you see Max starting to cast a spell that's like moving these flowers inside the room. What are you doing to close out the session?
I am gonna try to recover any arrows that may still be usable.
Okay, let me roll that real quick. Okay, you are able to recover.
Opens. As that door in the tree is the door in the tree.
Yes.
As it opens, does Max know where that door should go?
Yes. Hold on one second.
Okay.
Lanre, you get 3 arrows back, so go ahead and add those back. Max, you know that the door will lead. Let's see. Look at this. The door will lead back towards the Hall of. You will go back through the Hall of Evocation. Okay. You will eventually reach the Hall of Divination, which you know to be kind of a really weird dark room with these kind of like lights. And when you focus enough in that room, it kind of tells you like what you were supposed to be doing in that room. It's like, oh, you're supposed to go that way. So you know that room is just past the Hall of Evocation, and eventually that would lead you to the library of the Platinum. It won't go through the dormitories unless you return all the way back to the Great Hall, which will take you a while.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out, is this like once that door opened, does the Zelda like da 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 sound go off, and we know that we're going to rejoin the party, or?
Well, that is the question I was going to ask. So Lanre, you see that there is a door there. One, are you guys opening the door?
I am definitely just gonna look at Max because this is his realm and be like, Max, is it okay to open the door? Lanre is always very hesitant about anything related to magic.
Max, you think, whatever trigger was on this thing, you believe has been removed from the tablet Candy Crush?
Okay. Yeah, I think we can go through, and right after I cast the fabricate on whatever it ends up being, and all the stuff swirls into my bag, we can go.
Noted. Lanre,
Gotcha.
you grabbing the door handle and opening it?
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go in first.
Okay. You do so, and as you do, you walk through into a space that is almost like what you've seen in like various fighters guilds and places that you've been. The Hall of Evocation is a place that is not like other schools of magic in this place, in this school. You walk through and you see again what you saw before when you walk through here. Elements, of the main like ice, fire, all along the walls. And you see, remember going through this, you do reach that strange dark room. So the question is, will you guys be actively searching for Modolfir and Me-Man as your next steps? And if so, will you be sort of calling out their names? How will you be going about searching for them? And to where will you be going?
So I don't have sending. The sending stone is with Darius or somebody, right?
Correct. Yep.
Or is it within the party? I don't remember.
It is with Darius, and whoever has the other one in their inventory has.
Pretty sure I have it. I'm not sure, but pretty sure. Yeah, I have it.
One of them is with Darius. Yes.
All right, so that's not useful. I don't have message prepped, so that wouldn't help. And it wouldn't help anyway because it's yeah.
I mean, can I see where I can like move around and see what I'm doing, or not really?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, you guys are still in the Hall of Evocation. I'm kind of, and you can be at the Hall of Divination if you want to. I'm just kind of asking, well, like, how far are you guys going, and what are you looking to do to try to find the rest of the party, if that's what you're looking to do?
I mean, looking around, if I can't really see much going on, I think Lanre would just at least essentially, sense a spot or listen for stuff, and then if he didn't see anything, I would start at least calling out to, like, say, Medolfir,
Okay.
see if he's around.
Noted. Okay. Max, you know that from the past, whenever you've been lost, the Hall of Divination has helped you kind of focus, get out of your ADD mindset.
Ooh, would I know of anything in there that would help us track down people?
Not necessarily track down people, but when you walk into the main room of the Hall of Divination, you know that whatever divine magics are out there tell you in advance of you doing the thing what you are about to do. And sometimes if you really focus enough, it will tell you where you want to go before you even know you want to go there.
Oh yeah. Well, my want is, so I tell Lanre this before we step through, like, this is a special room. Here's the deal, right? And then in Max's head, what he wants is to rejoin with the meat shields. I mean, companions.
Okay. Noted. So, as you guys walk into the Hall of Divination, Lanre, like I described, it's a dark room. Almost think like a planetarium. In the air of this space, there's like little celestial objects floating and orbiting. And as Max sort of tells you, what he wants is to reconvene with Mayman and Medolfir, you see a glowing kind of blue faint light coming out of his chest and moving towards a particular door. That door being the door that leads into the library, Max.
And as Max goes by, I'm just like, Max, you feel all right?
Do I feel all right?
Because of that, like, blue light emanating from him.
Does Max see that?
Yeah, Max, you see it also, and you do feel all right.
Is there a light coming out of Lanre?
No, not out of Lanre, out of Max.
Okay. Why am I special? All right. So, given that that's what's in Max's mind, he assumes that for some reason the martial classes are in the library.
Indeed.
Like, this is a first. And Max sees that blue light and says, I think we're supposed to go that way.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Now, Max, you know that the library is a weird place also, and I'll just close up session this way.
Can I, as you're saying it, can I have explained that all to Lanre?
Yes.
Okay.
So, going into the library, you come through a door. As you enter the library, you know that it looks like it's a dead end, but the library itself, the door that you walk through to go into the library, can be controlled to go to other places in the Planetum. The library itself is kind of like a nexus point for various jumping off to other places. There are other ways to get into the library. It is a 2-story place with like a catwalk at the top. There are various portals within the Planetome that also lead back to the library. And you try to explain this to Lanre, you're like, well, there's all these portals, like doors are doors, but also there's these other doors that take you to different places. Similar to the one that you guys went through and kind of got split, although that one was malfunctioning. So to many people, the library could seem like a dead end location, especially marshals, people who don't know magic. People who understand the magic of it would know, okay, like there's ways to actually configure this to go where you need to go.
Okay.
So I look at Max and I'm like, so it's a GD maze, huh?
Yep.
I mean, not for Max. Anybody who knows Arcana would be like, oh, it's like super simple. You just, you go through here. But to anybody who doesn't have knowledge Arcana, yeah, it could be a maze.
I explained that like this is how magic schools protect themselves. Like they create defensive structures even in the most benign looking environments, like a library. A library, seems like it's just a bunch of books, but for us, it's easy to navigate, but it becomes a maze for anybody trying to, come in and interlope.
Indeed. So, with that, we will end session. You guys fought some necrotic, conjuration, magic. There were footsteps with a cane. Lanre, did you tell Max that? About the footsteps?
Yeah, I told him about the footsteps and just said
Okay.
it. I think I said it like, it looks like somebody's been here.
Okay. Yeah.
Given that there's no way Max could roll a spot check high enough to see invisibility, and I don't have see invisible, so yeah,
Yep.
it seems moot.
Okay.
Noted. Question.
Yeah. Final question.
Since at the point in time where we're leaving this, Max would have cast the Fabricate, right? Is that a known thing now?
Yes, you have completed that.
All right, so I'm just going to go cast it so that my spell numbers are correct next time, because I won't remember.
Yeah, please do.
Okay. All right, so I
All right,
cast
and
it.
I'll reach out to you out of session on what you actually gathered from that.
Yeah, and I might, depending on what it is, I might split some of that into Lanre's bag. Like,
Understood.
while it's swirling in there, it might just come into both of our bags.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You guys aren't starting in combat in the next session, so
Okay,
that's
cool.
no problem. Okay. All right, guys, good session.
Yeah, good session, guys.
Yep, I guess
So like,
next session. Yep.
so like the encounter for this, the encounter level is like based on the maximum number of skeletons that could have showed up, right?
The trap itself has an encounter level, as does the creatures that you face. They are treated separately from each other as a trap and then as an encounter battle.
Come on. But if we didn't do as well, we would have got more XPs.
Right.
Yeah, you guys could have farmed XP if you just purposely didn't do well.
We should have just
All right.
really been slow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, see you guys.